Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the third episode of the TNT MMA podcast. I'm your host, Trent, and I'm here with T Roll.
Hey bro, what's up?
All right, so obviously, we did not film a video last
Sorry
weekend
we're a little late.
or the weekend before. Some travel plans, some whatever
Life events.
life events. We're just a little bit behind. So we are going to cover two cards in this one, and also to talk about the upcoming UFC Fight Night coming up. Um, First off, we're gonna start with the UFC Fight Night. Delize versus Hernandez. We're just going to touch on a few fights from that one. We're not going to go over the whole card. And then we're going to go over the full card, UFC 319 Chimaev Duplessis. So let's just jump straight into it. What fight would you like to talk about first in the UFC Fight Night?
I guess we'll start with the opener because Cody Brennage is a fighter that I actively hate on. So
Okay. Okay.
I was happy to see him get the loss, even though he was the favorite, I believe. I did bet against him
Mm.
because, I just am not really a believer in that cardio too much. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of a boring fight. And Brundage is a vet that, I
Mm.
mean, vet enough. He's had enough fights in the UFC to where, you know, he can make these fights last long enough, but it's just boring and drawn out. And Eric McConough got the McConaughey. Eric
Yeah,
McConaughey got
McConaughey.
the yeah, Eric McConaughey got the dub, which I was very happy about.
Yes, he did. He got a split decision win. Judges' scorecards were 28-29, 30-27, 28-29, with Eric Monaco getting the split decision win. You are correct, though. Cody Brundage was the favorite, minus 235 going in. But yeah, you're right. Not like a super interesting fight or anything like that. But yeah, I was also happy to see. I believe that was like uh McConaughey's like one of his first fights in the UFC. I could be totally wrong about that. I need to kind of do more research on that. But for
It
some
was
reason,
his second fight in the
second
UFC.
fight. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so good for him. Getting in and getting a dub in the second fight. So that's good for him. I don't really think we need to touch too much into the details of that. Like the striking wasn't like anything insane. There wasn't any like insane over control time for either opponent or anything like that. So we can
Yeah.
kind of just move on up the card. Let's talk about this Uros Medic fight as well.
Beautiful
Obviously,
performance by Uros Medic.
yes, for sure, for sure. All right, tell us about what
Yeah.
you thought about that one.
I think it was a left hook that got the knockout if I'm correct,
Yeah,
but
I believe
it
you're
was just a
correct. Yeah.
clean is a clean combo. Uh, he looks really good. So mid I don't know how to say his name. Mid mid
Medic?
I'm gonna Medic. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. Yeah, Medic. I think Medic is definitely looking good with these knockouts. So I'm happy to see him get another one.
For sure. Okay, let's also chat about um let's talk about
The
next.
slam
Oh
knockout.
yeah, let's jump straight to that one. Elijah Smith versus Kazama. This was one of the most nasty slam knockouts I've seen in a very, very long time. What do you
Potential knockout of the year, I believe, from Elijah Smith. If the UFC, I mean, it's going to be a crazy end of the year, I believe, coming up. So we'll see what happens. But for right now, that's my knockout of the year so far.
Yeah, I
And
I would agree. Totally. That was crazy.
I mean, Smith looked really good. Um, Kazama, I think, from what I could tell, he was doing a lot of bottom game, not very successfully,
Mhm.
and um as soon as he got that submission locked in, like it was like Elijah Smith knew what to do. It was like
Yep.
muscle memory.
Yep.
Immediately picked him up and slammed him.
Yep.
And
Perfect. Perfect
those
plan.
extra shots were crazy, not gonna lie.
No, those so super necessary though, super
Super necessary.
necessary. um, yeah, he was a huge favorite going in though, minus 800 going in. So like definitely, it seemed like people thought he was already gonna get that. Also,
I had
for the
Smith by
view.
knockout or Kazuma by sub. So cause
Oh,
I
oh,
saw Kazuma with an underdog chance, but
okay, okay.
yeah.
Also to the viewers, sorry for that like 30-second black screen. don't know what happened, but we're back now. But anyways, technical difficulties. But yeah, that was nasty. Had some like prime Rampage Jackson in that clip
For
for real.
sure.
So that was
I
pretty
saw some
sick.
edits on TikTok
Yeah,
that made
yeah,
me
yeah.
hyped
Dude,
about
I'm not gonna lie,
it.
I totally got rage baited into believing that, because I couldn't remember what Elijah Smith's last name was, and I totally got
Uh,
rage baited into believing that it was Rampage Jackson's son, and I was like, I didn't know his son was in the UFC, and then I looked and I was like, oh, I just got totally like,
It's dope as fuck though. I
yeah,
love Rampage and Raha's like streams that they
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. You see, this is totally off topic, but you see that Raja like almost got knocked out in sparring today.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that from the head kick.
And then he started like just picking the dude up and slamming him and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
boy, oh boy. But anyways, yeah, that was an awesome slam knockout. I actually was watching that one live, and I was like, oh my god, it's like that.
Yeah. I was freaking out too, dude.
And we got some crazier stuff coming up. Obviously there's some crazy stuff happened in the fights. This past weekend as well. But let's move on up the card. Let's talk about the Steve Urseg fight, and then we'll talk about the main event, and that will wrap up pretty much this card. So, Steve Urseg gets the unanimous decision, 29-28 on all three judges' scorecards. He was a pretty big favorite, minus 650 going into this fight, but I want to just touch on really quick before you can give your little deep dive. He almost was like getting rocked in the first round. Like he was getting messed up in the first round. I was like, yo, Ode might like knock this guy out, and then he ended up, making a nice comeback and having some like decent control time and stuff like that, and ended up being able to get the win. But it was like scary close for him to get knocked out, like pretty early. I did notice
I
that.
totally agree with you. I honestly really thought it was a rocky performance from Steve Urseg.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which makes me really sad. I like Steve Urseg as a fighter. I think he's entertaining. He's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he has a good like on the mic personality.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just I feel like his last couple fights have been kind of lackluster from him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's going to be something we're going to keep seeing as consistently from him, or if he's going to get like a little boost from this win. We'll see.
We'll see.
But I'm glad Steve Ursay got the win. But yeah, I was a little worried for him at times, and honestly, like even during the decision, I was kind of worried too because I was like, Ode might be able to squeeze a decision in.
Yeah, I mean it was looking a little bit sketchy for a little while there, but hey, um, good for Ursig to actually be able to pull that one out. So yeah, that was a pretty good fight though. Honestly, overall, I thought it was actually a pretty entertaining fight. I liked it, but yeah, like you said, just Ursig's like last couple fights have just been a little bit underwhelming. So hopefully he can bounce back. Maybe
For sure.
get back on a little bit of a. He's obviously still like winning and whatever, but just get on like a little bit more of a back to like what he was doing beforehand. So then let's move up to the main event. We had a rear naked choke win standing, or he was kind of like pulling him almost around. But Anthony Hernandez with the sub victory against Delize, which
Yup.
I think a lot of people obviously thought that Hernandez is like good, but I don't think anybody saw him absolutely like dominating Delize like he did. Like, I mean, dude was ragdolling him the whole time. Dude was landing a ton of shots. He had 120 total strikes landed compared to 39 coming from Delize, and 91 significant strikes compared to 36. Um, I mean, he was just dominating, and his leg strikes were coming in very clean too. Had 7 minutes and 48 seconds of control time to 45 seconds for Delize. A pretty dominant performance, and then ended up getting the fourth round sub. Um, I want to hear what you think about this fight, but also I just want to hear what you think about like what are some kind of next fights you'd like to see from the middleweight, obviously with the Chamaya Duplessis just happening, but obviously with Delize after getting this loss and with Hernandez getting this win, what would you like to see moving forward?
Well, I will say Anthony Hernandez was looking like a monster out there. I kind of had uh to put more respect on Anthony Hernandez's name. I should have put more respect on. I think it's Fluffy. Fluffy's his nickname, right?
Fluffy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should have put more respect on Fluffy's name because I really honestly didn't think he was gonna do as well as he did.
Mm.
And I was, those takedown attempts were kind of crazy, and he got a lot of them. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
9 for 11.
super cool. You know, I don't know what a good fight for Anthony Hernandez would be right now. Like, ooh, I'd have to look at the rankings. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Middleweight rankings. Let's go.
Give me like the give me like the top like five of middleweights right now. Obviously, we got Chimaev, Duplessis. You probably got
Imavov,
Imavov up there,
Strickland.
Strickland.
I'm surprised Strickland's at number 3. That's crazy.
I kind of like a Hernandez Strickland fight, no cap. I think Strickland is on the
I
down, but like since he's still high ranked, you know.
I think there's other better fights for Sean Strickland,
Oh, for
especially because he
Sean
should fight
Strickland.
pretty soon. Yeah,
Okay,
for Sean Strickland, because
that's
I
true.
think he should
True.
fight pretty soon.
True.
But you know, mm, he just passed Caio Bohario in the rankings.
Hmm.
So let's say, honestly, Rainer de Ritter would be a super entertaining fight.
I actually like that. That's actually a pretty interesting card. I think he no, DeRitter just got booked for a fight though.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I can't remember which fight, but I swear he just got booked for a fight.
I think I heard about that too.
I want to say
His upcoming
he,
fight. Oh,
yeah.
it is against Anthony
Oh
Hernandez.
my
Oh,
gosh, we we're talking.
bang.
Hey, we obviously guys we do great research for these podcasts. Wow, that's awesome. But yeah, so obviously yeah, we had just talked that into existence. So whatever, it is what it is. But so yeah, that's actually gonna be an awesome fight. I actually love that
Yeah,
matchup because
yeah.
Hernandez does have the wrestling and stuff to make it happen, but he's also got great striking. And the Ritter, he's got this like kind of an awkward style. He's obviously great at his jiu-jitsu and BJJ and whatever, um, but we'll see if he's going to be able to hang with Hernandez. I would say to me, I know Delize is like a pretty big name in the middleweight, like or he was climbing pretty quick or whatever, but either he's not as good as we thought he was gonna be, or Anthony Hernandez might be that guy, you know.
I
So,
honestly think Anthony Hernandez's performance was really good.
mm,
I don't think Delize is a bad fighter. I really think
mm,
Delize is a really well-rounded fighter.
mm.
Um, but also, like Ursay, his last few performances have looked kind of lackluster, I believe,
Yeah, but
if I
it's
remember
kind of
correctly.
similar, or it's just kind of interesting the way he was getting ragdolled on the takedowns and stuff. Being, one of those Georgia fighters, they're known for being great grapplers and stuff like that. So it's just kind of surprising, but it was a great fight, though. I did really, honestly, this was like a pretty good, I thought this was actually a pretty good UFC Fight Night card, honestly. So, um, but yeah, so I think we can move on to UFC 319 if you're ready, unless you have some more things you got to say about that.
Well, I mean, I kind of agree with you that there were some decent fights on it, but I don't think it was that great of a card personally. I think the judges were tripping the whole time. Some of the judges had their scorecards out of whack,
Mm.
and a lot of the fights were boring. We had like a couple flash knockouts, like like the
Yeah,
slam knockout. It's
yeah.
freaking awesome. But yeah, no, we can move
I
on to
mean,
319.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I get what you're saying, but I just don't really expect much from the UFC Fight Night cards, to be real.
I mean, that's fair,
So
but
like,
like,
so like, honestly, to me,
yeah.
like any decent card is like, I'm like, cool, whatever. But now on to the main topic of this podcast: UFC 319, Drix Duplessis versus Hazmat Chimaev. This was a pretty good card. There was a lot of fights that I kind of was a little bit surprised about, and there was a lot that I wasn't that surprised about. But we're gonna go through every fight, details for all the fights, starting off with Albi Idris versus Joseph Morales. This was the Tough Series finale for
Yep.
the flyweights. There's obviously a middleweight fight coming up. It was supposed to be on this card, got delayed because one of the guys got injured. This season was Chael Sonnen versus Daniel Cormier, which was pretty cool. Um, it's kind of less cool though because like they're not gonna fight at the end of the series, which is like kind of the fun thing, like right, like when like obviously like the main recent one was like
Well, Conor McGregor.
yeah, yeah.
Conor McGregor.
He didn't either.
Yeah.
He didn't either. You're right. He didn't fight either. But they were supposed to, right? Like it's kind of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fun thing is that the coaches are supposed to like kind of have this beef the whole time, and then they're gonna fight at the end of the. That's kind of like the whole thing. But this was the finale for the flyweights. Joseph Morales has been in the UFC before. I believe he fought 3 times in the UFC before, and then he got cut, and he ends up getting back on the Tough Series and ends up winning it. He got a sub victory with a triangle choke in round two. Um, he looked good. He looked good. I thought he looked really good. I didn't watch a ton of this series of Tough, to be real with you. I watched like the
I
first
didn't
like
either.
3 episodes. So I did see Joseph Morales' first fight in the Tough, and he looked good. Um, but I just wasn't able to tell for sure in the Tough series if he was just good because he was good or if he was just good because he had way more experience than the other guys. Because he obviously does have 3 UFC fights under his belt, and like experience is super big, and especially when you're going up to like the highest level, which is the UFC, right? Um, so like experience is huge. So he was fighting a guy that had like no experience. So I was like, well, maybe he just like looks good because of that. So I wasn't sure, but he looked really good. I thought in this fight, I thought he looked really solid. It was actually a pretty good like overall fight. I felt it was good back and forth. Like it wasn't like a super dominant performance, but he was able to get the sub at the end. Were you able to catch this one or not?
Yeah, absolutely. There were some fun grappling exchanges,
Mm-hmm. For
and
sure.
yeah, I think Joseph Morales is has a chance to go far in the UFC.
Mm.
Flyweight's kind of a hard division
Yeah, right now for
to
sure.
compete in for sure, but I think he could do well, and same thing with Idris as well. I think get him some more fights, and they both can climb the rankings pretty well.
Yeah, because I mean, this could be a fight we see again in the future for sure. Because Idris was actually a favorite going in this fight, like a pretty heavy favorite. So it was a pretty big underdog win, but it was cool seeing him win that. That was cool for him. But yeah, so I definitely see this as like a fight we could see in the future. Like as they become more of like ranked eventually, I would assume both of them. I see both of them like eventually getting ranked, probably like top 15. I'm not saying like for sure either of them are necessarily gonna like maybe make a push for a championship or anything like that. But I can see them both being pretty good fighters in the flyweight. But like you said, flyweight's a tough division right now, and it seems like Pat Noja has that thing pretty locked down as of right now. But we'll see. I'm sure there's gonna be a fight coming up pretty soon that's gonna be the next flyweight championship, and we'll see how long he can hold on to it. But yeah, I think we can move on up the card after that one. Next one, a unanimous decision win for Karine Silva versus Dion Barboza. Um, Unanimous decision, all 3 scorecards 29-28, obviously in favor of Silva. She was a favorite going into this. Not a ton of like grappling or ground game in this one. Um, or sorry, there was like a little bit, but she actually had a lot less. She had half as much ground time as Barboza. Um, I was hearing through the grapevine that a lot of people were saying that the Barbozas, obviously they're different, they're not the same family or anything, but the Barbozas, I heard were kind of getting robbed a little bit. What do you think about that? I didn't really think that so much about the Edson because I love Edson. I wanted him to win, but I thought he kind of got beat up
Me
a little.
too, me too. But yeah, no, I mean, no, I think Karine Silva did a good job on the feet. I think she was definitely active enough to get the win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm trying to remember if what kind of damage she did to Barbosa's face, but
Based off
I'm
this, it
pretty
doesn't
sure.
look like a lot.
But all I know is that Karine Silva was a lot more active,
Mm-hmm.
which I
Yeah.
was expecting anyway, just because of the vet difference, like how many fights they've had comparatively.
Yeah. Yeah. She has
Um,
like a ton more fights for sure. So.
so yeah, I was, like I didn't think any of the Barbosas got robbed. I
No,
don't
I
think,
didn't think so either.
you know.
I didn't think so
Yeah.
either. I was hearing more people actually say this about Dion Barbosa's, but I did hear a lot of people were like, "Oh, Edson Barbosa got robbed. He was like he totally won that fight," and I did not feel that way at all.
Yeah, me neither. Honestly, it looked like a really sad fight for Edson Barboza. Like, definitely not in his prime anymore.
No,
It's just
definitely
like
not.
it's obvious, and it's getting to that point. I don't know if he retired, but he definitely should be thinking about retiring soon.
I thought he looked okay. He definitely didn't look like prime Barboza, obviously, but like I thought
His
he
just
still looked
his
good.
activity level's just gone down so much.
For sure, for sure. I mean, he got outstruck
He
by almost 100 strikes in this fight.
I
So
will say his fight IQ is exceptional, and I love the way he was able to control positions and deny takedowns.
for sure, for sure.
But yeah, no, he just looked kind of slow,
Yeah,
and Drakkar Close was like quite faster,
yeah,
quicker on the draw, and was able to edge out that decision.
yeah. I wouldn't say I see anything super special coming out of Drakkar Close though either. Like I mean, he beat Barboza, but like it was close, and Barboza's like definitely on the tail end of his career. So I wouldn't say I see anything like crazy there. But it was kind of sad because I love Barboza. He's obviously got some crazy highlights,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's just it's hard to see somebody start crumbling because all these as UFC fans we all have like our favorite fighters or people that we liked watching, right? And as you see him decline, it's sad because you're just like, no, it's like an end of an era. So too bad, but maybe he can bounce back and get another win or two before he retires. We'll see, or maybe he's just gonna get beat up a couple more times and then retire. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I don't know how many fights he has on his contract or anything like that, but anyways, good fight though. I thought it was still like an entertaining fight for sure. It was just
Absolutely, yeah.
like it just wasn't like unfortunate what we wanted. Obviously, we both wanted Barboza to win that, but
A
all
lot of
right.
clinch wrestling towards the end.
True, 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 true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, moving up. That was the early prelims. Now into the actual prelims, or just the regular prelims, I should say. First one was Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez, and I don't think really anybody saw this coming.
I
This is
definitely
tough.
didn't.
This is tough.
This
A
is a tough
first
loss for
round
me.
knockout, with like 4 seconds or 2 seconds left. 4 seconds, like I don't know, but I think
I thought I thought the ref stopped it a bit
I was hearing
early.
that a lot.
I feel like
Um,
it was a good stoppage,
yeah,
but the ref also could have equally just let those 2 seconds play out and then let the fighter take the minute rest
and then see what
and get
happens.
back in.
I
Yeah.
agree. I totally agree. Because I don't think I agree 100%. I don't think it was a bad stoppage. Because I think he was out, but like potentially you let those 2 seconds go on, and then he's either for sure out, like he's like asleep on the floor, or he like recovers, and then you get like a little bit more fight. But great for Alexander Hernandez though. He looked really good in that fight. He was kind of shutting down everything. And Chase Hooper, his striking has gotten like a little bit better, but he just kind of looks like lost on the feet though, a little bit. I feel like sometimes I don't know. Like I'm not a huge like fight nerd or anything, but he just doesn't look like he needs to definitely like tailor. Like obviously he's got great jujitsu and stuff, but
Yeah.
he just needs to tailor that striking a little bit more so he can like, cause he was throwing some takedown attempts from like way outside the range, and
Well, I think one
you
thing
know,
that really contributed to that was Alexander Hernandez's I think he had some low kicks like right off the bat that
yeah,
just like
no, actually
messed
no.
up.
Oh,
No? No low
maybe he
kicks?
had 3 body kicks, but no leg kicks.
Okay. Yeah, it might have been those body kicks, I think. If I remember correctly, like it was still like it was, one round, so not a lot of activity in one round, but
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, from what I remember, like that range that Alexander Hernandez was keeping was just perfect for like
Yeah,
Chase Hooper's takedown attempts to get stopped, and he was really good. And it was just a good performance from Alexander Hernandez,
for
honestly.
sure.
But I will agree with you that Chase Hooper's striking does need a little work. He does absolutely need to get a little striking classes, more of the striking classes, hit the Muay Thai classes a bit more.
For sure, for sure. Like I said, I mean, he has a lot of fights but he's still super young. Like, I mean, he's got plenty of time. But Alexander Hernandez looks great for the lightweight division, but that's another division that's like pretty stacked as well. Starting to fall off a little bit. Like, obviously, like we're getting close to kind of the end of like Oliveira's career. We're getting close to the end of
We're getting a whole new
Gaethje.
generation of
Yeah, we're getting
fighters
like a whole
coming
new
in, so
generation. But then obviously at the top you got Armin, you got Patty. So you still got some dogs up there, and then obviously, you got some like a lot of very good fighters at the top. You got Islam, if he,
Ilya Tuporia.
Ilya Tuporia. I mean, Islam, if he comes back to, I don't see him coming back to 155, but if he did or whatever. So lots of competition, but he looked good, and I think Chase Hooper, with a little bit of work, a few more fights, I think he'll be all right too. But he just kind of got taken. He just got taken out very, very suddenly. Like it looked fine, and then I think I want to say he like went for a takedown. And that's when he got caught with that hook, I believe, or an uppercut or something. But anyways, got knocked out. Um, yeah, people can argue, people can speculate on the early stoppage or not. I would have liked him to see it, like him, like let it go for 2 seconds, and if he's like out cold on the
Absolutely,
canvas,
yeah.
then okay, yeah, let's just call the fight. But if he's like still like awake a little bit, give him the minute, see what happens. But
Like it sucks to see a fighter take that unnecessary damage at the end of a fight, but at the same time, when you're that close to the end of a round and a
mhm,
fighter's knocked down, you really got to give it a sec to make sure they're able to retain guard if they go in for some ground and pound
right,
or
right.
you know.
But that's the thing, though. He got on top of him and got him with like another couple punches on the ground, and like Chase Hooper didn't react like at all to them. And then like literally right as the ref pulled him off, he like kind of sprung up. So that's why I think if he would have let it go, he probably would have been fine and would have been able to make it to the next round. But that's all for speculation, and we can't speculate because the fight's over. So it is what it is. Moving up the card. Next, we had another women's fight. Jessica Andre versus Lupi Godinez. Uh, Unanimous decision win to Lupi. 28-29. All three judges' scorecards. Um, she was a favorite. There's not like a super ton. This was like a high volume fight. There was a lot of strikes in this. Like I mean,
I honestly thought it was really competitive.
I did
I
too.
really did. Even though I did think Loopy obviously deserved the win,
Hmm.
Jessica Andrade was definitely looking for those knockout
Yeah,
shots
for sure.
and definitely caused some damage to Loopy, but
Hmm.
not anything serious. Obviously, it was kind of honestly like still a boring decision, honestly, but
Yeah, yeah. But
mainly just because
Luby
they throw
did
like
shoot
killers.
14 takedowns attempts and only got one to land. So great takedown defense from Jessica for sure.
I
Um,
honestly had Andrade winning this fight, so I was
really?
sad to see her lose.
Mm,
But I honestly thought her vet experience would honestly do hold up well, and it looked like it was holding up well. But I don't think she just couldn't capitalize on anything, couldn't get anything started of her own.
yeah,
Loopy was kind of more
I agree.
in control.
I agree as well. Yeah, just another women's fight, so like nothing super crazy to talk about with that one. we're gonna say this for the rest of this
Unless it's
podcast.
Shang Wei Li, I'm
Ele-
not hyped for it.
for real. Moving up the card, we had a middleweight bout between Gerald Mersh. How you say that name?
Or Tracy Cortez, Gerald Mearshart,
Mearshart, and
Gerald,
then
yeah, Mearshart.
Michael. Oh, yeah, Michael also was in that fight. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mikhail, I think is what it is.
Mikhail Olajkudets.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. He actually Mikhail got the W. Not gonna say. I'm not gonna butcher his last name again. He was the favorite going into this. No ground time in this fight. 22 seconds for Mikhail, and that was it. So this was definitely a stand-up fight. But it wasn't like a super. It was a first round finish. He got a TKO finish. Do you have anything that you like saw from this?
Yeah, I mean, just goes to show that Mearshart should really look to be not fighting soon, because
I mean, he has 57 fights, though. Kind of
yeah,
crazy.
it
Uh,
is super crazy. But honestly, like he just was missing like all of his shots that he shot, or like all of his punches that he was shooting. He just was not hitting any of them.
mhm.
Um, and I was expecting at least a takedown from him. Um,
He
even
shot
though he
three.
did attempt, yeah, he shot three. I was expecting him to get at least one. but
Yeah.
it was a quick knockout. So shout out
Yeah.
to Mikhail.
Mhm.
Um, if I'm not butchering his name, if we're not butchering
No,
his name.
I think it looks like my cow. Yeah. So I think that's good. Yeah. I this was one that I wasn't able to like totally tune into. This was because this card was happening on like one of my nights that I had hockey, so I only got to see the beginning, like up to the on, like literally this was like the first fight I didn't see, and then like I watched like the last like three or four. So there was like a few fights in there that but I did get to like watch some highlights on some of the bigger fights. So this one I don't really have much to say. I know that he did get the TKO, but I don't have much to say because I didn't watch this fight super closely. So you guys got the breakdown there from T Roll. We'll just moving on up the card here. So we had another middleweight fight in this one from Sirkarev. Seems pretty close.
Sirkaev?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sirkaev?
I did watch this fight.
Sirkaev?
Yeah. This guy. Okay, this guy. Uh, he literally fought in the Dana White Contender Series like 3 days before this,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yep.
actually insane. He fought Eric Nolan. He got a sub finish in round two with a rear naked choke. He was minus 1,000 odds. So this is like, which is crazy. They hit that good of odds after fighting like 3 days before this or whatever, 4 days before this. He looked great. Um, yeah, like I mean, yeah, he looked
It was
really
a
good.
dominant
It was
performance.
very
Yeah,
dominant,
yeah,
very dominant.
yeah.
But he looked really great. I was so blown away. But he seems very, very confident. We'll go with that. So, uh, maybe it's gonna carry him. I mean, because we've had a lot of people in the UFC that are very confident. Look at Conor McGregor. He was very, very confident, and I mean, he was a killer. So maybe they'll work out that way, or maybe somebody's gonna fraud check him at some point. We'll see. We'll see. But he looked great though in this fight. It was a total domination, and after fighting like 3 days before that, I thought that was pretty insane. So I don't know if somebody dropped out and that's why he stepped in to fight in this. I was not sure about that, or if they just like he just was like I want to fight. Because I know like after the Dana White Contender Series fight, he literally went up to Dana and he's like I want to fight this weekend on the card, and Dana was like okay cool, like we'll get you a fight. So I don't know if somebody pulled out and they like needed him there, or if he was just like they were just like found him an opponent that would fight on 3 days notice. I have no idea. Do you know?
Um, I know the Brian Battle
Mm, mm.
fight fell out. Because he missed weight.
Who also just got cut from the UFC as well.
Yes, because he missed weight going
Like,
up a weight
yeah,
class.
which is
Yes.
crazy. He missed weight in his last fight, and then went up a weight class and missed it by like what is it, like
4 pounds.
£7? Oh yeah,
All
okay.
right. Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
was like
I
seven.
think. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I think. I don't know what it was this last weekend, but yeah, there were times he was like 4 pounds overweight, 7 pounds overweight.
It's
Yeah.
just like, bruh. So yeah, get him out of here,
Which
bruh.
is kind of sad because I honestly I thought Brian Battle was a really entertaining fighter,
Hmm.
but if you can't
I mean,
if you can't make weight, that's like kind of the whole point to get a championship is
yeah,
make weight.
make weight. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, a ton of huge fights have fallen out because people don't make weight and stuff. So you
And it's unfair to the other fighters,
totally,
if you
totally,
miss
totally.
weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So, but yeah, this was a sick fight though. I actually really enjoyed this fight. Yeah, and Surkarev or whatever how you ever saying it, he seems like he's gonna be very good. So we'll see how that goes. He's also in that same middleweight division, which is pretty stacked right now. Lots of competition there. It seems like.
Absolutely.
All right, so that was the final for the prelims. Now we are on to the main card. This is the first one on the main card, and the first one on the main card shocked me, that's for sure. Um, Tim Elliott, Kai Asakura. Tim Elliott with the sub in round two with the guillotine. It was tight. It was nasty. Just a little fun fact. Tim Elliott was one of Demetrius Johnson's title defenses that he won, and this guy is still fighting and
Yes. Yeah.
beating these young up and comers, which is crazy. Like I really thought that like because Kai Asakura just came pretty recently from what's like the
Ryzen.
Jap Ryzen. Thank you. So I thought
Yeah.
this was kind of like a setup fight for like, oh look, we're gonna have Kai go out there and like be like elite, and he's gonna like look super good, and everybody's gonna be hyped about it. And then he lost. Like this is almost like I think if he loses another fight, like they could cut him for sure and send him back to Rising, for sure. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
I
don't know.
will say I knew Kai Asakura doesn't have a lot of grappling, so this is
True,
one that
true.
I had Asakura winning in my head, but my money had a double bet, obviously, because I like my double bets. I had Tim Elliott by sub or Kai Asakura by knockout.
Okay.
So I didn't lose this bet, but I definitely thought Asakura was going to knock out Tim Elliott. But that's mainly because I saw a clip online of Kai Asakura wrestling with Marab,
Hmm.
and he was holding his own like really well. Like he was defending all of Marab's takedowns.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's like a small clip online, so you shouldn't take a lot of like you should take it
Right.
with a grain of
Right.
salt.
Right.
But it's just kind of lame because Tim Elliott went out there, took him down more than once,
Mm-hmm.
and
Got the guillotine.
submitted him. Yeah, it's just like I really hope his grappling can get better soon because if it's this bad to where like I mean Tim Elliott's a good grappler. That's why I
Yeah.
had that sub
Yeah.
bet. But I think the UFC wanted Kai Asakura to knock out Tim
I
Elliott
totally
really
think so.
fast.
I think
Yeah,
so too.
absolutely. Yeah.
I think they definitely at bare minimum wanted him to win.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I think if his grappling does not get like substantially better, he might be cut. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
So I was sad though. We both like our Japanese fighters. I like their style a lot. So I was excited for this fight, and then I'm watching this guy get like suffocated, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So Tim Elliott though, he's still going. So good for him though.
Shout out to the man Tim Elliott.
Shout out to Tim
We love
Elliott
seeing a crafty vet.
for real. All right, moving up the card, Michael Page, Jerry Cannonier. This was a banger. What kind of?
Good fight.
It was a good fight. Um, unanimous decision goes to Michael Page, 29 or 28-29. All three judges
Deservedly.
scorecard. Yeah, totally deservedly. I thought Jerry Cannonier was gonna be kind of scary, like coming down a weight class. Like he's got heavy hands for sure. He's fought literally at heavyweight, light heavyweight, and now at middleweight. Um, so I thought it was gonna be kind of like a little bit spooky, but I just the only problem I have with this fight is that like Michael Page throws like a 1-2 or like one shot, and then like
Yeah, yeah.
dances around for like 2 minutes, and then which is fine.
Well, he's a point fighter. He's a
He's a
point
point. I
fighter.
get that. I get that
Yeah.
because he's like I believe he came from like a like karate, like point karate, I
Hmm.
believe. Which is obviously like you hit them with one shot and then like you get a point and then they reset you and or whatever. So I get that. But man, like old Michael Page, like before he joined the UFC, was like so entertaining, so fun, like always like had crazy knockouts and stuff.
He's always, I think, been like that. I
Mhm.
mean, like pretty much all of his fights play out the same way. But he's good at finding knockout shots against non like I mean he's had some good knockouts against vets
Yeah.
like Chris Cyborg, but he gets like really like he gets one good shot in that could knock somebody out and it could happen for sure.
Yeah.
But like against somebody who's got a decent chin,
Mhm.
it's not gonna really gonna happen. And he does a really good job. I really thought he was gonna beat Ian Gary too
Mm.
with his style just because of the way he moves. I thought he
Mhm.
was gonna really take. Well, shout out to Ian Gary for getting that dub.
For real.
But yeah, no, I really thought MVP's skill is just really, really crafty. So I
Yeah.
really like it. I like the way he moves.
He did
It is a little boring
technically
sometimes to watch.
he did technically get a knockdown. Like they didn't count it as a knockdown, but he definitely knocked down Cannonier.
Well, he does this thing where he push somebody
Yeah,
after
right.
he hits
That's what.
them.
Yeah, but it looks
Yeah.
like a knockdown. But it was. You're right. It
Yes.
was like a push, but
Yeah.
it looked like a knockdown. So I
Yes.
guess the scorers probably got that right, but kind of looked like a knockdown. But yeah, I was surprised.
Justin Gaethje does the same thing actually.
Yeah, Justin Gaethje does that same thing. So,
Yeah.
but Justin Gaethje also people like out on the floor as well. So you
Yeah.
never know. You never know if the guy's like actually dead or if he's like just like got pushed. So. All right, but yeah, great fight though. I like Michael Page. I actually wanted Michael Page to win this one, so I was totally cool with it.
Had him by knockout or decision. That was
So
another
yeah,
one that I
so it worked out
cashed
good.
in on.
But it just was like when he gets knockouts, so they're highlights. So you know, but yeah, he actually was moved up because I think he's actually normally a welterweight, I believe. So he did move up weights for this fight. He looked good there, actually. I thought. I don't know if he. I still feel like he still has the knockout power to even knock out people in middleweight. I still think he has that
I think so
knockout
too.
power. I think I mean Cannonier is a pretty big guy and he's fought. He's definitely got a big like heavier chin because he's fought like heavyweight before. So
My question is, who would you put Michael Venom Page up against next?
it like do you want me to give him like a middleweight or do you want me to
Yeah,
give him
yeah. Give him a middleweight. Let's say he stays at middleweight.
okay? I think if I was gonna have him at middleweight still, because he's not top 10. Obviously, I don't even know what rank he is right now.
He's 10 in middleweight.
Oh, okay, so he must have just got there. So that means that he like just passed up Brandon Allen. I kind of don't hate this. You could totally disagree with this, and that's totally fine. I don't hate like a Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker's at
That's not a
9.
bad fight. Yeah,
Robert
yeah.
Whitaker's
That's not a
at
bad
9 right
fight.
now, and they're both like not like super old, but they're both getting kind of older. They both, I think that'd be a pretty entertaining fight.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't hate that. I don't know what you think of that. You might disagree or whatever, but
No, I
I think
honestly,
that's a
I
pretty
think
cool
you're
card.
cooking with that one.
I think
Yeah, I
that's a
think you're
pretty.
cooking with that
I
one.
think that could be a pretty cool card. And if I was Cannonier, I don't know. I would probably go back up to light heavyweight. Honestly, he's only fought this fight, I believe, at middleweight. And I just don't really see like a great path for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'd have to see him fight again because he's only fought.
I think you should fight at middleweight again. I think it's really hard to tell how good you're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
in the weight class when you're fighting against somebody so awkward as MVP.
I totally agree. I totally agree. So I would
Yeah.
love to see him. I just don't know who I would put him against. Is what I'm saying. It'd probably be somebody in that like 12 to 15 range, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not like maybe you could get him like a Brendan Allen or something like that because Brendan Allen's like just outside of the top 10 now, I believe.
Or even a Delize
Hmm.
who fought the week before.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. So there you go, UFC. We just gave you two good matchups right there. So whenever they tune into this video, they'll get their matchups going.
All right, Hunter, you know what to do.
Yeah,
Come
Hunter,
on.
you know what to do. Come on. All right, yeah. So that was a great fight though. So moving on up the card, and this is where the card gets a little crazy here.
For real.
Jeff Neal, Carlos Prates. I love this guy, Carlos Prates, dude. This guy's so swag. He's so cool. Guy like talks about how he smokes like 10 cigarettes a day, and still this like spinning elbow knocking out people. So guy's a legend. Guy's a legend.
Demon. He's a
Demon.
demon. Honestly, I really love the fighting nerds. So
Yeah, no, I
I
me
will
too.
be
Love the
supporting.
fighting. Love the
I will be
fighting.
supporting. I voted against the Fighting Nerds when he fought against Bryce Mitchell and John Silva fight against Bryce Mitchell, but I will not be doing that again. Next time a Fighting Nerd will be fighting, I'll probably be betting, putting my purse on
On
the
him.
Fighting Nerd, which I did this fight. Carlos Prates made me some money that night, so
Spinning back elbow with 1
2
second.
in a row.
Yeah, I know, but with one
Oh,
second left in the first round, nasty. But he
So
threw
crazy.
the right elbow first. He just threw like a single
Mhm.
elbow and then immediately hit the with the left spinning elbow, or it could have been opposite. But you get nasty, dude,
His
nasty.
style's so clean. I want to see his grappling a little bit.
Yeah,
See his grappling skills a little bit. See if he can keep up with the best.
but
Um,
he looks nasty, bro. He looks
yeah.
nasty.
Honestly, I think training with the fighting nerds is a great idea, and he'll be getting that takedown defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they work too much grappling at the fighting nerds, but I think they do work a lot of takedown defense,
Well,
which
I
I think
mean,
is important.
Cairo,
Tayo Bahario?
yeah, I mean, he's a good jiu-jitsu guy, I believe.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, obviously he's like a different weight class, but definitely like could probably learn some stuff from him. Yeah, but I like the fighting nerds. I think it's funny. I liked when I saw like obviously a while ago, but Joe Rogan with the nerd glasses on. That was pretty funny. So I
I
like
have
it.
so many of these now.
I have so
Whoa!
many. Whoa. I love that. Dude. Yeah, that was awesome. So not much not much else to say. Nasty spinning back elbow. Sad to see for Jeff Deal, dude. That was nasty. Um, yeah, bro's gonna need a good amount of time off before you get back in there. Next up the card, back to back spinning back elbows. Leron Murphy knocks out Aaron Pico 3 minutes and 21 seconds into the first round. He was an underdog. People need to stop hating on this guy, Leron Murphy, dude. He's nasty. He's undefeated in the UFC, 17-0. I put him up against Pico. Pico actually looked pretty good though, like through the fight until he got hit with this nasty spinning elbow. But he did look good. It wasn't like he was getting dominated at first. Um, but yeah, underdog
Oh,
fight.
Pico just took him down, I think, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think he did. He took him down twice. In like the first 2 minutes or whatever, and then got spin back elbow to the face. So uh nasty spinning back elbow. I think Leroy Murphy is a guy that's coming for that, like because Volkanovski already called out Leroy Murphy to fight for the
Mhm.
title. So I like that. I think the reason why the UFC is not like super high on Leroy Murphy is because he's just not that flashy on like the mic or anything. Like he's not very like loud or whatever. He's pretty like chill on the mic or whatever. So I think that's probably
Pretty
why they're.
humble, pretty
Yeah, he's
humble,
like
chill
very
guy.
humble, but
Yeah.
you know, who doesn't like a some like every once in a while getting like a humble champ? It's just like
Yeah.
whatever.
Volkanovski's kind of a humble champ.
I
He's just got
totally
more of a
agree.
personality.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got
he's
more
just, I think,
yeah, he's got because he's Australian, right?
yeah,
But that would be a sick fight, though. I think Volkanovski,
absolutely.
Leon Murphy, sick fight. I think. So yeah, like I said, these both were first round knockouts. Spinning back elbows back to back is insane. Like I watched the first one and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Leron's was much cleaner too.
Oh,
Like I
much
will say,
cleaner,
like
much
Leron's
cleaner.
connected way cleaner.
Oh yeah.
Knocked him out cold. Like I think Jeff Neal kind of like had his wits about him,
Mm-hmm.
like when he
Yeah.
fell to the floor. But
Pico was
yeah,
out.
Aaron Pico was out cold.
Out cold. But I did like the Carlos Perez setup one. I liked the first elbow into the immediate spinning back elbow.
Yeah.
But I like Lebron Murphy's connected way cleaner. It was nasty. So yeah, great underdog win for Murphy and moving up. Main event of the evening.
Oh,
Dricus Duplessis.
what happened to the falling piano? I thought there was gonna be a falling piano that landed on Shamaya's head halfway through round 4 or
For
something,
real. Yeah,
but
where did that go? Yeah, obviously, if any of you guys watched the fight, you guys already know what happened. If you didn't, Chimaev literally ragdolled this man for 5 straight rounds and literally practically barely touched Duplessis. Duplessis could fight next week. He took zero damage pretty much. Now I'm actually better at this now. I probably like a year ago I'd be like, yo, that was the worst title fight I've ever seen. But I had to appreciate the fact that like couldn't do anything. Bro had him in the freaking crucifix for, like every round.
It was
Um,
crazy, honestly.
the
When your corner's advice is don't get crucifixed, you know you're in trouble.
like you're
You
cooked.
know you're in trouble.
And okay,
Like
but let's give Duplessis his like somewhat flowers. Last round, he almost got that sub in. He almost got that rear naked in. That would have been insane. If he would have pulled that off, I'd have been like, yo. I've become recently a Dricus Duplessis fan. I used to think this guy was like a total tool, but he's like kind of like mellowed out a little bit, and now I think he's actually kind of cool. And Chimaev is also humble. It was so weird. Last fight, Chimaev was I kill everybody, I kill everybody, and then this fight he's like, yeah, bro, I killed this guy, no problem, man. You know what I mean?
that's a
Like,
pretty good impression, bro.
so like he's kind of calmed down. So I actually don't mind. Like, and it was actually kind of cool after every round, cause like obviously, who guys we all love when the fighters are beefing the whole time and they hate each other. That's obviously awesome. We all love that. But it is kind of fun when like after every round these guys are like high fiving each other, like, dude, that was or this is a great fight. And then after Chimaev was like, this is a great fight. And then even after the fight in the interview with Joe Rogan, he was like, this guy like, was not disrespecting my name or anything like that. Like I have like a ton of respect for Dricus and stuff like that. So I kind of like every once in a while I like that. I like a little bit like where everybody like, they both like even the press conferences were like pretty chill. I mean obviously Dricus is known for making his opponents cry during press conferences. So based on those standards, it was pretty chill. But yeah, Hosmont completely ragdolled him for about 4 rounds, 4 and 3/4 rounds, I'd say. In the last like minute and a half, there was like a possibility that Dricus was gonna have a chance to like get a late sub, but it was like very low chance. Yeah, I was watching this fight and I was just like, wow. I was
It,
expecting him to like get taken down and obviously like have to fight, but it was total domination. Like when you're in a crucifix for most of every round, you're getting dominated. You are getting dominated,
it has to be insane pressure that he's putting on like that upper back torso area.
and that's
Because
where
like
all of his weight is. That's where all of Jerkis's weight is in, like his chest and his back.
yeah, when I was learning MMA, I learned all about that drag down that Hamzat was constantly doing to Dricus. It's
Mm-hmm.
an effective move, You're literally just throwing all your weight on them, and then
Mm-hmm.
once they can't hold your weight anymore, they just sink to the floor,
Yep.
and then they can build their way back up. But they're carrying 150, or I guess in this case, 185,
185 pound or 170. Yeah, 85.
85 pounds. Yeah, 185-pound man on your back.
That's a lot of
It's
weight.
tough. And yeah, I could just tell Dricus. I mean, I don't know if it's just Hamzat's just like that. Like, I don't know if
No,
there's
he's just.
anybody
I
that'll be
think
able
he's
to
just
keep
like
up.
that.
I don't know if there's anybody that could keep up with Hamzat's wrestling,
I
but
don't.
I'd like to see somebody who can.
Yeah, I mean I think there's gonna be some entertaining middleweight championship fights coming up. Like I think there's some people that like I don't think are gonna beat him, but are gonna give him like maybe a little bit more. I really thought Dricus was like I mean his coach was like talking about all before the fight that he's like we're not like we're going to wrestle him. We're not gonna like shy away from which I think is the strategy honestly because if you're constantly worried about his takedown, you're not gonna be fighting your fight. You're gonna be fighting defensively the whole time. And at some point,
Yeah.
you just like and Drake has said he's like, I probably will get taken down, and that's okay. But I'm gonna like fight my way out of that. Obviously, he didn't do like a great job of that, but but that's the right. I do believe that is the right mentality to be like I'm okay to get taken down. I'm just going to like wrestle him. Like I have to wrestle him. And I think that's the strategy because I think if you are going in there like I can't get taken down, if I can't get taken down, you're gonna get taken down probably even worse. Um, but Hosmo's just an animal, dude. I don't. That guy's crazy. Um, yeah.
Honestly, it's a long way from happening because obviously his last performance was a womp womp, but Bonikal, I would love to see him work his way up the rankings and get that Hamza fight just because of the beef there.
True, true.
Um,
I think
but
Haas
I
just
think
ragdolls him.
I think that's something Bonikal could work towards not happening if
Mm,
he actually has a decent rise up the rankings.
maybe, yeah.
Um, and how much his training is on
Yeah,
the anti-Dagestani drag down method
yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah.
I totally agree. I think this was like we can really touch up on like it was the most I think 10-8 rounds of all time or like 10-7 rounds of all time. And also the most strikes in a UFC fight ever, 529 strikes, but
Strikes.
37
Yeah.
significant strikes. He had almost 500 strikes that they didn't even consider significant. So when just for the average MMA fan, when they say total strikes and they're not significant strikes, that means they're not really that great of strikes. Like they were just like, I hit, significant strikes are damaging strikes. He threw like 30, like you could see like Dricus was exhausted. I mean, he was totally exhausted, but he didn't look like touched like at all. Um, but man, he was just dominating him. He couldn't get him off. It was crazy. I just thought, and like I would even honestly say I liked to an extent that the ref was like standing them up every once in a while to an extent because I think when he was standing them up, it was the wrong times. Like
I agree with you on that.
I think he should have stood
Um,
them up, but he did it at the wrong times because he was like standing them up right when like Hosma got to like a dominant position, and he was like, "No, no, stand up." And then, but then when they would just be sitting there for like a while, he would let them keep doing that. So it was just kind of like weird timing, I thought, but uh, yeah, it was just total domination. So
yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody keeping up with Hamzat anytime soon, so
mm,
it's gonna be I think a dominant championship reign. We're gonna get one fight every year for lucky. Um,
yeah, I think so too.
so that'll be fun.
I would love to see Dricus fight a few more people and then try again. Honestly, I think Dricus like has a chance. I think it looked bad, but I think that he like is able to like now he's fought him once. He can try to work on some different things, but it'll be interesting. I mean, man, like they're showing like clips on the side of the page of this fight, and it's just like so crazy how dominant he was.
Personally, I would like to see Kyle Bahario be the next one to be climbing up the
I
rankings
think
and get that title shot.
he's fighting. I believe he's fighting coming up. In one of the cards, I can't remember. Pretty sure.
He
But
is set
yeah,
to fight
Imov.
Nasruddin Imavov.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which is not this weekend, but the weekend.
September
After.
6th.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. I think if he wins that, then I would like to see him be the next one up.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I think honestly it's gonna be a hard task taking out Hamza, but I
yeah,
think fighting nerds. I think the fighting nerds,
the Fighting Nerds
you
might be
know,
able to do it. They might be able to do it.
they could do it.
They could
They
do
could do.
it.
It. I
They
I
could,
say that a lot, but
they could do it. Okay, so that's pretty much wrapping up this fight card. Great card. I actually enjoyed this card.
pretty actually really good card. Yeah, I
Very
agree
good
with you on
card.
that.
There, I mean, we got two spinning back elbow knockouts back to back. That was pretty sick. And then other than that, like so we had
It
pretty
was
good
just
fights.
stacked, honestly, from the
the
early
The
prelims
main
to the end.
card was fantastic. I thought all the main card fights were great. I was sad about the Kai Asakura, but it was still like a good fight, like a good guillotine. And then the prelims were great. The early prelims were pretty good. I thought it was a great card, but since I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier about when we were talking about the lightweight division, I want to talk about. I believe. Let me look right here to get the exact date. UFC Fight Night in Rio de Janeiro, October 11th. Charles Oliveira. It's gonna be, I believe, like 3 months after he got flatline knocked out. Um, Do we see a Charles Oliveira retirement in Rio?
Most likely, yeah,
You think so?
absolutely. I
Okay, so
probably,
you are on that train. Okay.
yeah, I honestly like, especially depending on how the fight goes. I know Fiziev doesn't have a lot of knockout power, so I'm not
Mm.
that worried about a knockout
Mm.
for Charles Oliveira.
Like I see
But
Charles winning. I'm just like I think this might be retirement, dude.
I think so too. I think honestly they're probably just trying to give him a fight that looks pretty winnable for him,
Mm-hmm.
so that he can. And it's in Brazil, obviously. So
Yep.
being this home crowd, it'll be a big fight for him, and
They
it'll be a
haven't
good way to
been.
end it out.
They haven't been to Brazil in over a year, and they haven't been to Rio in even longer than that. So I think, I mean, I'm worried for him being in this fight, not because I think he can't win, but just because like I'm scared because that just seems like a lot of damage to be doing or to be going through potentially. But like you said,
Well,
Fiat is he's not like a super knockout prone guy or whatever. So
I will be saying this, and I'm gonna probably get a lot of hate for this, but I love my boy Fiziev, and I will be rooting for him against Charles Oliveira.
what?
Yeah,
You like Fiziev over Charles Oliveira, dude? That's crazy.
absolutely. He looks like Ragnar Lothbrok, and
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of. I like his fighting style. His kicks are really creative. His kickboxing is awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, Cardio's good, but honestly, just like I love my boy Charles too, so don't get me wrong. I'm not like wishing him to get knocked out or anything,
Yeah.
but
Fair
like
enough. Fair
I will
enough.
be wishing Fiziev gets a decision win over Charles, which I don't see happening, but you know.
Something. Yeah. All right. Well, we can kind of touch on. We have definitely some more stuff to talk about. We obviously can at some point jump into some ESPN or sorry, not ESPN. Some
Paramount
Paramount
Plus.
Plus news. So we definitely got to talk about that. But let's just get through this week upcoming weekend. Let's go through a couple fights that I like or want to talk about. Give me your take on. We'll give our takes on those. This is the Shanghai card, UFC Fight Night Walker versus Zhang. So the headline is obviously Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. But we are not going to start with that. Let me go through these really quick and see which ones really pop out at me. Um, we have Michael Pereira versus Kyle Dacus. I don't really know like if there's gonna be like a crazy fighter or nothing like that, but Michael Pereira is a funny fighter, dude. He's hilarious.
He is a funny fighter. He's good
He's
to watch. He's fun to watch.
he's fun to watch. He like does like those backflips when he gets people on the ground. It's super funny. Anyways, nothing much to
I
talk
don't know who the
about.
favorite is, but
He is the favorite.
uh,
My
he is the
my
favorite.
color.
I could see Kyle Dawkins winning this though, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean Michael has a lot of experience on him as well though. And then other than that though, the prelims are pretty light. There's nothing like
Well, I
super
will say,
crazy.
look, Zhu Rong is nobody to sleep on. Right above Marshall Pereira, Zhu
Okay.
Rong, you're gonna see a banger fight in Austin Hubbard versus Zhu Rong for sure. Um, I honestly think these guys are gonna like a lot of these fights. They're gonna be a lot of there's probably gonna be a decent amount of grappling, but we're gonna see a lot of like volume heavy striking on a lot of these fights. I think.
Okay. Okay. You guys heard it here first. Potentially a lot of striking in this upcoming event, which would be cool. Um, but moving up the list, we got. I just really want to talk about the top two fights on the main card, and then we can go back and you can talk about if you see some other fights that are interesting. First one I want to talk about is a catchweight fight because I believe Brian Ortega came in heavy, like by a lot or something. He looked horrible. Did you see the pictures of Brian Ortega
Hmm.
or the videos? I mean, he looked horrible. It looked like that weight cut killed him damn near.
Yeah.
Did not look good. So I think they did a catch weight because he was overweight. Is is what I believe they end up doing because I believe this was supposed to be a featherweight fight, originally, but I heard that it was gonna get canceled, and then it became a catch weight, so now it looks like it's still on. So I'm not really sure exactly what's gonna make of it. But this is a cool. It's a cool sounding fight, right? I mean, Brian Ortega and Aljamain Sterling. That sounds like a banger fight. Sounds like we could have a really cool grappling match on our hands, like a really cool potential, like lots of sub activity going on. And when you have two like
Absolutely, some
super
fun
high,
scrambles.
yeah, exactly. So I'm actually super excited for
Yeah.
this fight. What do you think about this fight?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me ask you a question first. Who do
Yeah.
you think is gonna win this fight?
I would say Brian Ortega, but I'm kind of leaning Aljamain Sterling after that, seeing that weight cut. He just looks so dead, and I know obviously he's gonna put weight back on before Saturday, or before tomorrow, by the time when we're filming this right now. But I just feel like when you're like so dead like that, it's gotta be hard to come back. I don't know. I've never cut that much weight, or I've never like cut weight for a fight, but I kind of see Aljamain Sterling kind of having the edge on this one, but I like Brian Ortega more. So I'd like to see Brian Ortega
I got Aljamain winning this one, whether it be submission or decision, one of those two.
win. Okay.
Um, I think Brian Ortega can defend the submissions of Aljamain Sterling, and I think Brian Ortega might even get off some own submissions of his own, but I think Aljamain will be able to defend those easy as well.
Mm,
Um, but I think Aljamain will just be more dominant. Will be a little bit quicker on the gun on the striking.
mm,
Brian Ortega's striking has never really impressed me, to be honest.
yeah.
Um, he's a little slow, but Aljamain, I mean, especially like after that knockout with Usman, I feel like his confidence skyrocketed, and
Mm,
or never, it wasn't Aljamain, it was Leon Edwards. I'm stupid.
that's okay.
Wow.
I was like Usman. I was like that. That's all good.
Aljamain after his title defenses against Jan, after his title
Mm,
defense against Jan, I think that's when his confidence skyrocketed. And yeah, I think Aljamain will get it done.
okay. All right. Moving on to the main event for that card, we got Johnny Walker, Zhang Ming, Ming Yang. Johnny Walker, super interesting guy, but pretty funny, pretty funny, pretty good fighter though. I like him though, but he's a weird dude. What do you got about that?
Look, I can't even feel comfortable putting my money against Johnny Walker, but that is what I'm gonna be doing this weekend. So,
Wow, you
yeah, I got
just because it's in China or what?
no, I think Zhang has enough knockout power to knock out Johnny Walker. Um, but like I said, I don't ever like putting my money against Johnny Walker just because there's like a day he could be fighting, like John Jones and he could probably pull it
Yeah, he's
off.
just like
But
randomly. That's true.
yeah,
He's either gonna like be super good or lose.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that is very true. I agree with that. I'm also going. I kind of want Johnny Walker to win, but I would be betting on Ming Yang, and I would also be betting on Sterling, but I want Ortega to win. So both my bets are on the opposite people than I want to win, which is which is fine. But sometimes your mind knows better than your heart. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
all right, I think obviously there's like some cool cards coming up, but obviously we're gonna talk about those cards after like this next week. Like obviously it'll be fun to talk about the Imov and Brawlo fight. That'll be fun to talk about, but we'll save that for like next week's podcast. And we got some other great cards coming up, and then pretty soon we're getting into like the rest of these September October cards, which are gonna be super awesome. So I think we can kind of jump into like some UFC news. Let's just start right into the Paramount Plus thing. So let me just kind of lay it out real quick for the viewers. So pretty much, $7.7 billion deal for 7 years. So 1.1 billion per year. People are all questioning like, oh, is fighter pay gonna go up? And now they're going away. Dana said something to the extent of, like there will still be like a few pay per views here and there, but it'll be for big events. Like I thought that the white card or White House card was totally gonna be like a big pay per view that they were gonna charge like $100 for, but they said it's gonna be free on CBS. So that's crazy to me. But apparently they will still have a few. Yeah. So if you didn't know that, that would be pretty sick.
I
And
didn't know that. That was pretty cool.
if you have Paramount Plus, you have CBS because Paramount Plus and CBS are like the same thing, I guess. Um. So, but Paramount Plus, whatever the now next year because it starts in 2026, but I believe he's adding a few cards at the end of this year onto the deal. But if like at this point, it seems like even if you have the $8.99 version with ads, you can watch every single UFC fight night, every single actual card, like for that price every month, which is super awesome. It sounds like a great thing. Uh, but then a lot of people are questioning how is that affecting the fighters for the people that had pay per view points into their deals. Now they're obviously not going to get pay per views. Are they just going to make it like based off viewership? Or I wonder how they're going to do that. That'll be interesting to.
I believe I heard they were gonna do something like for like the big names, they're gonna do it off of viewership, like off of
Mm,
their what the stream gets in viewers.
right.
They're gonna get like a percentage of something, but I think I do believe that it is confirmed that they will be getting higher bonuses
Mm.
and just higher pay in general. So
A little quick shout out. Like speaking of bonuses, this doesn't have anything to do with the deal or anything like that. But MMA Guru, shout out MMA Guru, love MMA Guru. But he actually said if it was him, if he was running the UFC right now, he would take out like the fight of the nights and stuff like that. He would just make it like a $25,000 bonus or $50,000 bonus or whatever, or 20,000. He said I just give a $20,000 bonus to anybody that gets a finish, any finish. And I like that deal. I like that idea. Like, that's going to make people want to get finishes instead of just like, because you can still get like fight of the night or whatever by indecisions. Like if you have like a sick fight, you can still get it. So I like that though. I think you should still have like fight of the night for like 50K or something like that. But then like any guy that gets a finish gets a $20,000 bonus. Pretty good idea. But yeah, this deal like from the base sounds like awesome for basic UFC fans that don't want to pay $80 per pay per view.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
sounds awesome. So what an awesome deal. Uh, I'm super excited for it because I have Paramount Plus already. So $13 a month, no
I will
ads,
definitely be getting it, brother,
for
for sure.
real, for real. So yeah, 2026, and I believe probably I would assume there'll be like a couple cards in like December, maybe November that they will have on Paramount Plus because he said he was gonna add like a couple of the already planned fights like on there. I don't know which ones though. So that's something to come up, but that was super awesome. Super excited for that.
I'm really excited for it. I personally believe pay-per-view model is outdated. We're
Mhm.
going into a new generation, a new technology era. I
How
really
many
think streaming is
people?
the future.
How many people are watching the fights illegally? Like, I think their viewership.
Majority.
I don't think everybody's gonna stop doing that because there's still gonna be some cheap guy that doesn't want to pay the $13 a month, obviously. But I think they're gonna get a huge amount because, like, for me, like every time I want to watch the big fights, I'm gonna buy the pay per view if I really want to watch because I don't want there to people don't want to watch the lag or whatever, right? And they don't want to be
Yeah.
behind. So a lot of those people are still gonna be totally down to pay $13 a month to watch all the events. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, I think their viewership's gonna go way up, which is obviously gonna make them more money in the long game, anyways. And I mean, it's a huge deal. $7.7 billion is crazy. So,
It's a win for UFC fans too because it's way cheaper to be a UFC fan now.
yep.
And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited for
I
it.
think it's an all-around win-win. I think it was a great deal. Um, I actually heard.
Crazy that they spent more than they're worth.
True, that is crazy. They're like worth like 6 billion or something like that. But hopefully it pays out for them. Hopefully it's a win-win all
Four
around.
point, I think it's like 4.9 billion is what they're worth. Like
Okay,
4.8
that's
billion.
crazy. That's even crazy.
7.7 billion. Yeah,
They're taking a
almost
big
double.
risk, but I think
I
it's
think
gonna
it'll
pay
work
off.
out for them.
I think it'll pay
Yeah, I
off.
think it'll work out. Yeah.
There's a lot of like UFC fans that will definitely be very excited for that. But I heard that like I think it was True TV or something like that was originally like they're the people that like the first people that gave the UFC a contract like after the first Tough, the first Ultimate Fighter. Um, Whatever company it was that gave them the contract right then is actually the same company that owns Paramount. They're
Oh,
just
really?
rebranded. So
Huh.
a lot of people are speculating that there was probably actually bigger deals available by like Netflix or Hulu or something like that, but they took this one because it was like because Dana, he's like super big on like, hey, if you help me out once, like I'm gonna help you out forever kind of thing. So a lot of people are like thinking that it's like hey, you scratched my back in the day, which got us started at all. So like we'll give you guys the contract instead. That's what I heard. I don't know. It's kind of cool though. It's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
I don't know. I can't remember what it was called, but the first original TV deal that the UFC got is actually the same company that now owns Paramount Plus. They're just rebranded to Paramount Plus. So kind of crazy.
Hmm.
Small world. But anyways, yeah. Other than that, not like a ton of new uh UFC. Obviously that's huge news, but like there's nothing else that I can really think of off the top of my head that I've heard about or anything like that. um Seen a little bit of footage of Connor doing quite a bit of training. He looks good. But I think he's probably gonna get back on coke or something in a couple months and then he'll be gone, so
Most
uh,
definitely.
so like I said, I will not be celebrating until I see that guy walking out to the freaking canvas, brother. But doesn't mean I don't want it to happen. I want it to
Me
happen,
too.
but
Me too.
but it'd be a pretty cool story if this guy made a
It's
huge
okay.
comeback.
We
So
have new Conor McGregor, Ilya Taporia.
Ilya
He's gonna
Topuria,
fight. He's gonna fight
Makachev.
Makachev someday soon here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see it on the White House lawn. They're not even American. None of them are American. But I'd still mess with that fight on the White House lawn. That's one of the biggest fights you can do of all time. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge fight. I'm also excited to see Makachev go up to 170 and fight for the welterweight belt against JDM. I think that would be a really cool fight too.
let's
So
get him some. Let's get him some more. Some like at least one more lightweight title defense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything else, things you want to talk about, or things you could think of, or
Nah, brother, it's been good.
all right? Well,
Good UFC chat.
W chat for real. Thank you guys all for watching. It was good. I think this is gonna be like over an hour and a half. So sorry for like a slightly longer video, or maybe you're welcome. I don't know, depending on what you'd like. But
We have some catching up to
we
do.
had catching up to do. We are all caught up now. So hopefully we'll be back on track. To be back posting around Sunday nights for every weekend. We thank you so much for watching. If you're new, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that whenever we post, it's coming. And ding, yeah, exactly. And we just appreciate you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.